The world is shifting on its axis as we approach the final hours of a decade marked by chaos. For 20 years, a silent storm has been brewing in the heart of the cinematic world. A prophecy of light and shadow is finally coming to its fulfillment in the year 2026. Mel Gibson has broken his long-held silence regarding the most controversial and anticipated sequel in the history of film. The original masterpiece shattered every record and changed the landscape of faith forever. Now, the vision has returned with a weight that transcends the mere boundaries of a movie screen. This is not just cinema. The whispers in Hollywood have turned into a deafening roar as the details of the resurrection of the Christ emerge. It is a story that has waited 2 decades to be told to the world. We stand at the precipice of a revelation that Mel Gibson describes as nothing short of an otherworldly experience. He has finally pulled back the curtain on what he calls a spiritual journey through the abyss. The year 2026 was always whispered to be the chosen moment for this grand unveiling. It is a year many believe holds a specific prophetic weight in the timeline of our modern spiritual history. Mel Gibson has spent years in deep reflection, preparing a script that delves into the hidden realms of the afterlife. He claims this project is far more ambitious than anything he has ever attempted before. The director has revealed that the narrative will not be a simple linear story of coming back to life. Instead, it is a descent into the very heart of the conflict between good and evil. Gibson describes the screenplay as an acid trip into the realms of heaven, hell, and the spaces between. It explores the 3 days of silence while the world believed the light had been extinguished. This is the period known as the harrowing of hell, a journey into the depths of the underworld. The film aims to depict the ultimate war that was fought in the shadows of the tomb. For years, the public wondered if the sequel would ever see the light of day. Rumors circulated about script changes, budget issues, and the sheer weight of the subject matter holding the production back. But as the calendar turns toward 2026, the silence has been shattered by a series of shocking revelations. Mel Gibson has confirmed that the production is moving forward with a massive $100 million budget. The scope of the film is so vast that it has been split into 2 distinct parts. This decision was made to capture the full magnitude of the events that occurred after the crucifixion of Jesus. Part 1 is set to explore the immediate aftermath of the sacrifice and the cosmic shift it caused. It deals with the fall of the angels and the ancient origin of the great adversary. The second part will focus on the triumph of the resurrection and the birth of a new hope. Together, they form a cinematic tapestry that seeks to explain the unexplainable mysteries of our existence. But with this grand vision comes a controversy that has sent shockwaves through the faithful community. Recent reports suggest a major shift in the casting that no one saw coming for this epic. For decades, Jim Caviezel was the face of this journey, his performance etched into the hearts of millions. Yet, as the 2026 release window approaches, whispers of a radical recasting have begun to surface. Some sources claim that the physical demands and the passage of time led to a difficult decision. A new actor may be stepping into the most significant role ever portrayed on the silver screen. This news has sparked a firestorm of debate among fans who believe Caviezel is irreplaceable in this role. They argue that his personal faith and dedication were the soul of the original 2000 for film. Mel Gibson, however, remains focused on the spiritual essence of the story rather than the fame of the stars. He believes the message of the resurrection is larger than any single human being involved. The director recently spoke about a spiritual purification he experienced after losing his home to the California wildfires. He feels this loss stripped away the distractions of the material world for this project. He believes he was being prepared by a higher power to finally tackle the resurrection story with clarity. The fire destroyed his possessions, but ignited a new flame of purpose within his creative spirit. Filming has transitioned to the ancient streets of Italy and the legendary Cinecittà studios in Rome. These locations provide the historical and spiritual backdrop necessary to ground such a supernatural and epic narrative. The production is utilizing cutting-edge technology to depict realms that have never been seen by human eyes. Gibson is pushing the boundaries of visual effects to create a sense of divine and demonic reality. He wants the audience to feel the weight of the spiritual warfare that surrounds our everyday lives. This film is intended to be a wake-up call to a world that has forgotten the sacred. The timing of the 2026 release is seen by many as a prophetic alignment with global events. We live in an era of unprecedented uncertainty where people are searching for deeper meaning and ancient truths. The original film was released during a time of global tension, and it provided a focal point for faith. The sequel arrives as the world stands at another crossroad, facing challenges that seem almost apocalyptic. Prophecies from ancient times have often pointed to the middle of this decade as a period of transformation. Mel Gibson's return to this sacred story feels like a response to that specific call for truth. He has broken his silence to remind us that the story did not end at the cross. The real power began in the darkness of the tomb during those 3 days of cosmic mystery and war. The director has collaborated with the world's leading theologians and historians to ensure every detail is accurate. He wants to honor the biblical accounts while exploring the spiritual dimensions mentioned in ancient traditions. One of the most intense aspects of the new film is the depiction of the war in heaven. This sequence is rumored to be a visual masterpiece that shows the clash between light and darkness. It traces the story back to the very beginning of the rebellion of the fallen ones. By understanding the fall, the audience will better understand the necessity and the glory of the coming resurrection. Gibson is not afraid to show the terrifying nature of the abyss and the entities that dwell there. He believes that to appreciate the light, one must truly understand the depth of the darkness it conquered. The film will also delve into the lives of the apostles as they dealt with grief and confusion. It shows the human side of the divine story and the fear that gripped those closest to Jesus. The transformation from hiding in fear to standing in the light is a central theme of the sequel. It serves as a blueprint for the spiritual awakening Gibson hopes to inspire in the modern audience. The 2026 window represents a milestone for those who have followed this project since its first announcement. It marks the end of a long wait and the beginning of a new chapter in cinema. Mel Gibson's silence was not a sign of inactivity, but rather a period of intense spiritual and creative labor. He was waiting for the right moment, the right technology, and the right spiritual climate to arrive. He has faced immense opposition from within the industry, just as he did with the first film. Many in Hollywood were skeptical that a sequel could ever live up to the impact of the original. But Gibson has always been a filmmaker who thrives on challenge and follows his own inner conviction. He self-financed the first movie and is once again putting everything on the line for this vision. The script, co-written with Randall Wallace, has gone through countless revisions to achieve a perfect balance of truth. They wanted to create something that feels both ancient and remarkably relevant to our current world. The title The Resurrection of the Christ was chosen carefully to reflect the magnitude of the event. It is not just about a man coming back to life, but about the Christ reclaiming his throne. The use of Aramaic and Latin in the first film added a layer of haunting authenticity to the experience. For the sequel, Gibson is exploring ways to use language to reflect the different realms being portrayed. There are rumors that the heavenly sequences will feature a soundscape that is unlike anything ever heard before. The director is working with visionaries to create a sensory experience that feels truly divine and eternal. As we move deeper into 2026, more details about the final cast and the specific release dates will emerge. The world is watching with bated breath to see if Gibson can capture lightning in a bottle. The broken silence of the director is a signal to the faithful that the time of waiting is over. A new era of spiritual storytelling is about to begin, led by a man who refuses to back down. This project is being viewed by some as a final testament from one of the most talented directors. It is his legacy, a cinematic prayer offered up to a world that is desperately in need of hope. The connection to ancient prophecy is found in the way the film addresses the ultimate fate of humanity. It asks the big questions that have haunted the human heart since the beginning of recorded history. Where do we go when we die, and what is the nature of the battle for our souls? These are the questions Mel Gibson is prepared to answer through the lens of the resurrection story. The film is expected to be an intense experience that will challenge the viewer's perceptions and beliefs. It is not for the faint of heart, just as the original film was a visceral journey. Gibson intends for the audience to leave the theater feeling as though they have witnessed a miracle. He wants to bridge the gap between the physical world and the spiritual reality that surrounds us. The 2026 release is more than just a date on a calendar. It is a point of spiritual convergence. It represents 20 years of prayer, planning, and persistence by a filmmaker dedicated to his craft and faith. As the marketing for the film begins to ramp up, expect to see imagery that is both beautiful and terrifying. The posters and trailers will hint at the epic scale of the journey into the afterlife. There is a sense that this film is being guided by something beyond the hands of men. The miracles reported on the set of the first film are already being whispered about in the sequel. Cast members have spoken about a heavy atmosphere of reverence and a sense of being part of history. They are aware of the responsibility that comes with telling the most important story ever known. Mel Gibson's breaking of silence is a call to action for those who believe in the power of truth. He is inviting the world to witness the triumph of life over death in a spectacular way. The 2026 prophecy of a cinematic awakening is coming true, and the world will never be the same again. We must prepare ourselves for the revelation that is about to unfold on the big screen. The journey from the cross to the throne is the ultimate arc of redemption and power for all mankind. This is the heart of the story that Mel Gibson has finally decided to tell the world. The darkness may have seemed to win for 3 days, but the morning light changed everything in the end. That light is what this new film seeks to capture and share with every soul on earth. We are standing on the threshold of a new spiritual renaissance in the world of modern popular culture. The silence has ended, the vision is clear, and the resurrection is finally coming to the world. Let us watch as the prophecy of 2026 unfolds, bringing with it a message of eternal hope and power. The greatest story ever told is about to receive its most powerful and epic conclusion in history. Mel Gibson has spoken, the cameras are rolling, and the heavens are waiting for the final shout of victory. The resurrection of the Christ is no longer a dream. It is our upcoming reality in 2026. Prepare your hearts for the journey of a lifetime into the depths of hell and the heights of heaven. This is the moment we have all been waiting for, and the silence has been broken forever. The weight of this production is felt by everyone involved, from the director to the smallest crew member. They are aware that they are creating something that will be studied for generations to come. As the world faces increasing darkness, this film will serve as a lighthouse for those seeking the truth. It is a reminder that even in the deepest abyss, there is a light that cannot be overcome. Mel Gibson's commitment to this project is a testament to his own personal transformation over the last 2 decades. He has found a new depth of faith that he is now sharing with us all. The 2026 release will likely be the biggest cinematic event of the decade, drawing millions to the theaters worldwide. People of all backgrounds and beliefs will gather to see the mystery of the resurrection. The director's acid trip description highlights the supernatural nature of the events that took place behind the veil. It promises an experience that is both intellectually stimulating and spiritually moving for the viewer. We must pay attention to the signs and the timing of this release as it aligns with prophecy. The year 2026 is a gateway to a new understanding of our place in the cosmic story. Mel Gibson has broken his silence for a reason, and that reason is to prepare us for what is coming. The resurrection is the ultimate sign of hope in a world that often feels very hopeless. As we count down the days to the premiere, let us reflect on the impact of the first film. Let us remember the lives that were changed and the conversations that were started around the world. The sequel promises to do even more, reaching into the very soul of the audience with its message. It is a bold move in an industry that often shies away from such deep spiritual themes. But Mel Gibson has never been one to follow the crowd or play it safe with his art. He is a pioneer of the spirit, using the medium of film to explore the deepest truths. The 2026 release of The Resurrection of the Christ will be a moment of cultural and spiritual significance. It is the fulfillment of a promise made 20 years ago to finish the story properly. The wait is almost over, and the revelations are just beginning to surface for the world to see. Stay tuned as we follow every update and every break in the silence from the director himself. The journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come for those who believe in miracles. The resurrection is near, and the world is ready to see the light of the morning once again. Would you like me to create a detailed SEO metadata package including a title, description, and tags for this YouTube script?